Oh boy, we're back. I had a little power, like a mini, tiny little power outage, like enough to make my router restart and my computer restart, but we're back now. So thank you everybody for bearing with us. I think we were talking through our various episodes, and we were just talking about that NYPD CCRB force layout that we made.
Oh, I didn't hear you talk about that. I
Oh
left
really?
off at the maps.
Oh man, because I was talking about how fun it was and how great the timing was and all that stuff.
Oh, um, yeah.
Oh well. That's what happens when you talk to a broken internet connection. I was just speaking into a void. I was like speaking into a whole computer, sending things into a wire that was just like fizzling.
That's too bad.
It's all right, you know. But do you have? Can you pull up that CCRB thing?
Yeah. Also, I guess where we left off, I wanted to share this one link with folks before we go to the CCM because with the maps, we showed several animations, right? And these are the notebooks that drove those animations, and
Yeah, there was a whole there was a ton of iteration because if you look up at the there's like other nights where we did COVID stuff. Like we kept going back to it. Like bubble map animations is a lot of that stuff. You know.
yeah, yeah, API map maker bubbles and yeah. But yeah, we could go on to the CCRB one. So where
So
are
this
you?
was I forget who, but this was like the result of a FOIA, I believe. It was like really it still is a really interesting data set of every complaint or civilian complaint that I guess ProPublica could verify, and then we made a network out of it. Was it ProPublica?
Yeah, Propoga. It's right here at
Awesome.
the top. Here's a notebook for that. And isn't this the one where Jeremiah joined us? Oh,
Yes, I believe that's true.
so I'm gonna write down. I think we had a slot for guests.
So Jeremiah Kimmelman, who's a coworker at NBC and is now a freelancer, he's been friend of the show. He joined us for that stream for to help with the data journalism aspect of things. And what is I don't totally remember what this next one is. Path extrusion and centroid position force. What do all those words mean?
I think centroid position was an improvement we made to the force layout to use the precincts.
Oh,
These are the
yeah.
precincts, right? Like,
I totally forgot about that. Yeah, so we scroll up a little bit. We basically had this force layout of all the officers and where their complaints were. And because it's New York data, and I really wanted to spatialize it of are these complaints in Queens or Brooklyn or Manhattan, or we tied every problem officer to their precinct, and then they were sort of just floating in space and nothingness. And I really wanted to put the precincts where they would be on a map. So that was this next stream, right?
yeah. Well, this was part of that stream. Like, we worked on two things, I think, that night. So I put that in there. And the other thing was the path 3D. I think it was this 3D paths of points. We did these two notebooks. So this was,
Right. We took the logo and simplified it.
yeah, and like rendered it in different ways. And then by turning it into those points, we were able to make a
Yeah. Which is
model
still
of it.
one of the coolest things we've made that we should probably go back to.
Yeah, because we also got it so you could download the object that was generated and bring it into Cinema 4D. Is that what you
Yep.
use?
Yep. I had a subscription for that month, so I was itching to use any cine. I don't have it anymore. I might earn it again.
Upside down G.
Yeah. That's the G from
Anyway, it's
coding.
fun. So I'll put this notebook because I think this was a fork of the paths as points. Put this in the chat for folks.
And then Paul joined us. We were on a roll, man. What a strong showing for our first few episodes. I feel like.
Yeah, Mori patterns. So that was. Oh man, we
Shoutouts
did
to
like
Paul.
a lot of stuff that time too.
Yeah, shoutouts to Paul Chaikin for taking the time to hang out with us and like teach us really cool math things that are beyond me.
Yeah, like we helped them refactor this to use Canvas, so it like sped up, like you could crank up some of the parameters,
Right.
and it wouldn't uh, be as intense. I guess it's
Well,
still
now it
kind of.
still animates pretty relatively smoothly in quotes.
Yeah,
More math, please.
math is fun. So I'll put. Well, I think it's actually. We should look at the 3D and the Firebase ones too.
Totally.
I should have these three collected. So this one wasn't about animating. It was.
Yeah, this is the next episode. We did 3D hexagons on July 29th. So that's what this episode was, I think.
I still like really like this.
Yeah, this is so. I didn't even like the stuff you
I
did
don't
with
know
the
what to do
height.
with it, but I like it.
It'd make a great album cover, you know? If you made all the pegs like a rainbow or something, you could do some cool stuff too. You could also visualize politics with it if you wanted, make it a big old unit chart.
Yeah, yeah, we can make anything into a unit
You could
chart.
make them all electoral votes.
Oh man, I can't look at any more electoral votes for a while.
All right, you're right. I'm sorry.
And this is a fork of the one we did. Oh, and then the Firebase was interesting. Ooh, it's using the Firebase colors
Yes. And you
and the
Firebase some extra
controls of
parameters.
this one are Firebase controlled. Like
Drop that link.
I really like this one. Yeah. Um, so folks in the chat can play with this, and then as a reminder, there's the colors. Where did we get the colors from? Oh, it's actually like loading them, not importing them. But let me put that one in the spreadsheet too. All right. 3D hexagons. Oh, I showed that one. That was like a different night, I guess. Firebase force layout. Oh, that was an interesting one.
We made a Firebase fort. Oh, right. And didn't somebody draw a penis on it?
Yeah, they turned the mind map into. They drew it.
We're anti-penis drawing as a show.
Yeah, we're not in that pro penis drawing camp at all. So this was, we actually implemented our own little mind map because we had done a mind map of.
Yeah, we're like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
That was like what, episode 5 or 6? We're like, maybe we should like try and figure out what the hell's happening on this show.
I agree. This is really interesting though because we're gonna have a historical trail too of notebooks. Like for these, like we have videos. I think for them. There's not uploaded.
They're all on my hard drive, yeah.
But you had to be there. You had to be there. The bubble maps, I already kind of showed those, but we should show the dot density real quick.
Oh, yeah, that's like one of my favorites. So that's the Aaron Williams fork, right?
Yeah. I can turn this off. Sorry, I gotta like close out stuff.
Tabs on tabs on tabs on tabs, son.
I mean, it's usually how I live. I'm pro tabs. Where was
I'm pro tabs.
this one? Oops. Put this in the chat for folks. So cumulative COVID cases. Oh yeah, it was the same principle as the other like animation, like where it takes a single day and it maps all the counties for that day. We'll use the dot density technique from Aaron Williams, has like a great notebook explaining how they used it in the Washington Post for that segregation piece. And so we
I'm
adapted it.
pulling it up. So he had it's
Nice.
a racial dot density map where every color is a race, right? And then they fill in the different geographic units based on that, right? But we just did for one single metric, and that metric was COVIDness or not.
Yeah, I forgot which metric.
The zoomed ones are great. And by
Yeah,
great, I
per
mean
city.
terrifying, but like visually stunning. It looks like an infection, I think is why it's powerful.
You know what I just realized? We should do zoomed in circle dot density.
Oh, god damn, you're so full of great ideas.
That's
Do you
gonna
want to
go
just
crazy.
stop everything and just do that real quick? Do you think we could do it in like 15 minutes? Because I feel like we could do it in like 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's
15 minutes? I don't know.
20 minutes?
20 minutes, we could probably do it.
How can we design this exercise so we can divide and conquer in the correct way to accomplish this in 20 minutes? Let me ask you that.
Well, I mean, we basically would want to grab the circles from an existing notebook. Like we want to fork this one, I think. Grab the circles from another notebook, and then when you draw the dots, it's checking to see if the dots are inside the county boundaries. Instead of that, we would check to see if it's
Inside the circle
uh,
boundaries.
inside the circle. And so then it would end up with drawing the number of
I
dots.
just had a semi-related thought, which is I should take our dot circle map by population and turn it into a GeoJSON map, right?
You're tripping me out, man. Yeah, like turn the circles into like polygons.
Yeah. So it's like instead of Albers, it's like, you know what I mean? Just a different projection, kind of.
Yeah, that would be a good thing.
Anyway, maybe later. I just like nerd snipe myself again. Back to our
Well, that's
wonderful
the
list
thing.
of things that we've done.
But I mean, like, I'm just want to do acknowledge. I do want to acknowledge like why that's interesting, right? Because once you have that GeoJSON, that means that essentially, in any time that we wanted to make a dot map, like a population county map, we would just load that data, either import it or load that shapefile
Yeah,
or
exactly.
GeoJSON. And anyone else, in Mapbox included, you could use it, right? Like it would make it easy to like have that in Mapbox GL or something.
Exactly. Well, yeah, it would
Which
just
would
yeah. GeoJSON makes it very easy to go between stuff, and it would make it easy to do in QGIS too, right?
Yep, yep, yep. One of my missions is to learn some QGIS. I got some pointers
I
actually.
think that might be coming up in a Coding with Fire season coming soon.
Yeah. Um, all right. So yeah, I mean, I think we should do that. Like, let's keep going up the list. Like Brian was saying, it's fun to say, like, oh, I was there for that one. Yeah, it's like
Totally, that is fun.
it's pretty cool to see, see these things. I'm gonna leave this tab open though, and
Agreed.
then
As a reminder.
that'll be yeah. It's like
So next up is school districts and internet speeds, which I think Jeremiah was on. Was he on both?
was he was on that. Yeah, he joined us a couple of times.
That's dope. So that was another episode where Jeremiah hung out with us. He was. This was like a data set he was really interested in. This was like when people were just first talking about home education during COVID, and school districts were deciding whether they could do remote learning or not. And like while people were having these discussions, there was no conversation of like, is remote learning even like feasible, right? Like a lot of counties live in places with internet that can't necessarily support video chat for every student. You know what I mean? So he was looking at it from that data angle and had this data set of internet speeds and wanted to do some like analysis comparing the internet speeds to school district boundaries and geometry, and that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of like big queries, like SQL writing, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, we didn't actually get to uh, like visualize. We spent the whole time, but we it was actually we learned a lot of like yeah, SQL, BigQuery, we were able to load in like a large amount of these internet readings and the school district boundaries and like do spatial queries. It was good stuff. We should try to visualize that again sometime. I wanted to see if real quick because Chris here had made, I think this is, he uses that same data on a county level to
Mm.
show off this CartoVL library, I guess, which, or I think it's a data thing with Mapbox.gl. So anyway, so there's 34% of how, households don't have internet there. So like you
Yeah.
can't,
So how can you possibly do like home learning? I don't know.
yeah, 58%. Yeah, they're like the Native
It's also a
American
case. It's also like
reservations.
not a lot of people. There's not a big population in those places too, right? So
Well, also, okay, 11% of Alameda County, right?
totally, that's
That's
more than
like
I would have thought
Alameda
of.
County is like almost a million people. So that's like, it's a lot of people. And not all of them are gonna have kids, but it's still probably 11% of school going kids, right? Like, I don't know. So anyway, that was, yeah, a really interesting problem, interesting data set. Something we should visualize again. I'm going to share this link as well for anyone who's curious.
And then we did
Um,
the generative art episode, which was one of my favorites. I'm hoping like I enjoyed it so much. I'm hoping we can do a lot more generative art stuff in the next season, especially because it's like non-serious way to have fun with like D3 and visuals and stuff. Like we some the COVID data, the NYPD data, the election data. It's all so serious. You know what I mean? So I guess I actually scroll up to that. I had found this image on Arena that was just like some piece of inspiration, like just some artist had made it. I spent a lot of effort to try and find the original person who created it, and I couldn't find it. But I was like, I just love this thing, something about this thing. And then we just spent an episode trying to like capture part of like what made it good and what made it interesting, I think.
yeah, try to recreate the patterns.
And I
Well, I
think
think
we reuse colors from the crowd control too, I think.
yeah, I'm trying to get this one to load. I guess we manually colored some stuff. And then we tried to make a QR code.
I
That
forgot
was
about
interesting.
that. What does that do?
I think it takes you here because part of the hope was that we could generate these with a Twitter bot or something, or like make videos of it,
Yeah,
and
if you
then
just make a million of them and then you pause it on the frame of the one that you like, then you could like go to that one. But it didn't really work great, did it?
I think that every form of compression, any place that you'd share it, compressed it beyond usefulness or at
That
the
sounds right.
size that it showed on the screen. So it
You live and you
it
learn. But we made some
yeah,
cool. It made some cool art.
yes.
What's deconstructed force?
You know what? Like I think custom force layout. Did we work on a? Because I had worked on this like outside of the stream. I thought there was
Isn't it
either
when you
something.
can control T or something?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I don't remember.
We can just say because the next one was the where votes at risk, which is like one of the better ones because like we
Yeah.
kept referencing that. That's when we start. That's like when it's fucking August 16th, and we're like, all right, time to start talking about elections. Let's get some election data rolling.
Yes. Let me put that one in the chat.
Hey, I wonder if we were right about any of this.
Like where they're at risk. So we like remember I bought like the postal a
Yeah, yeah,
database
yeah.
of postal locations, post office locations. Yeah, I guess yeah, we looked at this was where you brought Eves in
Yep.
to Observable and we started to be on a look at that. So yeah, this was really foundational for what.
And then the next one was analyzing and visualizing USPS and voter data, which was that the same notebook or is that a different? I think we just added more things to that
I think
notebook.
we added, yeah, it's like, so it ended up being four data sets in that one notebook. Yeah.
It's
So,
interesting. Sometimes like, we don't necessarily do it on purpose, but sometimes we'll split a project across two episodes. You know.
yeah. You know what though? Like also, I don't think we did the deconstructed force. I think that's what I wanted to do, but we didn't get to it. And there's got to be one about timers. I
That's
wonder if
like
this is
way up
like,
here. Racing Against Time, 913.
oh, that was later. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. I just
Yeah,
misremembered.
getting ahead of yourself, buddy. It's been a long 29 episodes or whatever.
Yeah,
I
so
can't believe it's
hanging
only
out,
29. I'm pretty sure we did some test episodes. I said 30 in that tweet before. That's got to be true, right?
there's some episodes in the vault.
Yeah, yeah. We did some test episodes. It's
Oh,
30, it's 30 in our hearts.
do you count the visual synth ones we did like last
I do
year?
now. Over
Yeah, so
30.
we're over 30. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're on YouTube. We'll add them to the
I'm not like the
playlist.
proudest of the. We were like figuring stuff out for sure. I believe
That
if I
stuff,
recall correctly, I wore a suit and played with the OP1 for our first stream.
there was one of them that you definitely did that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Water
don't think that was the
melons.
first one
Yeah.
because I think that was I was like trying to live code just random visualizations. Yeah. Anyway, so live mapping. Do you remember that? Wasn't there one that we tried to make a view map? So there was in a notebook.
I vaguely remember that. When was that?
September?
Hanging out and live mapping? What is that? What's live
No.
mapping? You're just gonna watch the episode? Yeah, let's all follow along as we figure out what the fuck we did that one time.
There's
It does look like I made a
Firebase.
view app.
I do think this was the view app.
I think we are trying to make like a protest mapper kind of thing.
Yeah. We had a lot of trouble with Firebase and
Yeah, look at our faces. We both look so upset.
yeah.
There's like no
So
map the whole time.
yeah, I think
I think that was a bummer episode.
yeah, we just chalked that one up. And so that was view app. I mean, but you have to do those to learn what, right? Like I think we kind of realized that the notebook stop the count. Nice. We're just gonna stop counting videos
Yeah, exactly.
before September 7th. And but I mean, like we do kind of figure out a rhythm and figure out like when we make notebooks, we can make a lot of notebooks. It's visual. It like keeps it going.
Yeah, it's true. We never really tried to do anything outside observable after that.
I think that there's like a because we've been wanting to do this kind of stuff since Tributary, right? Back in
Right.
the day.
Totally.
Like the idea of seeing the code execute but it's also a visual thing that you're making, watching it unfold over time. I think it has an energy to it. And when you're in the code editor and alt tabbing and stuff, it's just like it doesn't have that same speed that like yeah.
I don't know. I
So
also spent a lot of time practicing to make that as quick. You know what I mean? Before we ever did our stream, when I was planning to do my own solo streams, like for the 6 months before that, I like optimized my whole workflow so I could like go know all my like hotkeys so it would like be a better performance. So I still like I haven't used those skills as much, but that was part of me preparing to stream is like getting all my tools set up that aren't like I was doing with like VS Code and iTerm and stuff, you know what I mean? But like getting that as quick and visually interesting as observable,
yeah,
which was hard.
it is. Yeah, this one was fun.
Oh yeah, the purple air. Hey, what do you do? Go back to we didn't get to purple air for a while, I don't think.
No, it's the next on the list.
It's the next on the list.
A million ways to make a map. Yeah, September.
Really,
is
that
when
was the
fires
purple
broke
air.
out.
That's wild, man. That was so early.
2 months. It can't. Yeah, what is time in
Yeah, that's
2020?
insane. This is like this is like an insane way to look back on our time, like the pandemic time, we just sort of mapped our way through it. We're like, okay, I guess there's wildfires now. I guess we'll make a map of that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and not, spoiler alert, but then the election starts happening, we'll make maps of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a trip. So that's when the wildfire started. We started visualizing the air sensors, air quality sensors, right? That's what the purple air
Yep.
can hold.
Exactly.
And this was like we got, because I think I had pulled in that purple air data off stream, and I think I started working on that stuff. There was like, a week or so that you were on vacation, and
Yep.
and that was like also when the fires broke out. And so I was just like, I'm gonna start collecting data. And I did an observable stream with Anjana where we like loaded that into a scatter plot, and we talked about, oh, it'd be cool to do a Voronoi. And so then when we got on, I was like, let's try doing let's throw a Voronoi on it, right? And
It looks crazy. It looks like an alien colony a little bit.
well, and this is with your trademark
Yeah.
90-degree rotation of California.
Yeah, if you're mapping California, turn it on its side. Screens are wide. California's tall. Flip it. That's my pitch. That's my elevator pitch for my startup. Turn California on its side in maps.com.
Do we have, or maybe, is it a fork? There used to be a thing where you could see. Maybe no one's forked this one, but I have one where you can see it without the text. I think it's a little bit.
Yeah, didn't you make a time lapse of it sideways?
I did that as well.
What are those penguins all about?
This one. Oh yeah, penguins. Oh man, I think that would be interesting. So, yeah, I'll open this in a new tab.
Tabs on tabs on tabs.
Where's
Yeah,
the
what are
penguins?
They're at the top. What are the penguins all
So this is a data set. It's like a teaching data set, but it's based.
Ooh.
It's supposed to replace the iris.
Oh yeah, because the iris one's racist.
Yeah.
I don't remember how or why. That's all the information I have. But
I think the dude who like made that data set was like some kind of eugenicist or some shit.
right. Yeah, that's why he cared all about genes so much.
Stats, like statistics, has a crazy history in terms of like when people figured out you could average stuff and like what they did with it and why.
All right. So anyway, we're trying to rectify that with these penguins. Is what you're trying to tell me?
Yeah. So now it's like when you teach, if you're like, you want to test out some visualization tool or you're teaching it, it makes for a great data set. And I'll show, I did one painting with, I did a workshop where I can show it real quick, like a scatter plotter. It just looks like this, right? So it's not too much data. It's if you change the.
So those are all penguins in there?
Yeah. So each dot's a penguin, and you can like see the relationship from different angles, and like the species correlate with, with certain properties.
Different. Yeah.
And there's even some bad data in it. Like there's some not any's, or like null rows, kind of, So
nice.
it's
That's awesome.
it kind of brings that element of reality.
Represents some what real data looks like.
Yeah, I'll drop this. So, and it's from an R package actually, like an R stats. This Allison Horst put it together, and she also drew the amazing images.
Nice.
And I really love. Oh yeah, I guess I forgot I had. Look around for it. But I think the idea of like having a notebook, because the only thing I contributed here was kind of just finding the raw GitHub link for the CSV, because like in their ecosystem in R, you just like import it and like you're good to go. And so I wanted us to be able to do that too.
But that's like saying like what Blue Apron, like all Blue Apron does is go and get the ingredients and put them in a box and add a recipe and then send them to the person. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think like I don't know, I have this ideal I'd love to see. I don't know if people will actually do it or if it's worth doing or whatever, but like to have many data sets as notebooks like this that you can
Mm,
import from, and then like, but because like with the Penguins, like it has its own brand, right? Like it's its own thing. Like I know that like, and I could like riff on the Penguin data set and a bunch of with all kinds of visualization techniques I'm trying out. So like, if the wheel got to the point where the data sets were so good they have their own like landing notebook,
oh, that's fascinating. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like have
right?
like that's really interesting.
And then what do people? Because like if it packages like this, it makes it easier to do your own grid and to do your own fort and do your own right.
Totally.
Like other people.
Well, maybe that should be part of our process, right? Is when we land on a thing, we take 5 minutes to like import it well and make it its own data notebook, and then we work on the viz, right?
I like that. I like that. I think that's like a really good idea. And that I guess if we're saying lessons learned and stuff, one that speaks to one of the lessons that keeps recurring is just like, oh, okay, deliberately create something while we're streaming. Right? It's like, well, we're gonna look at it anyway. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna poke it, like play with it. Do that in a notebook, and then like I feel like that's the next morning thing. Like you're hungover. There's solo cups everywhere on the couch, and like but there's 5 notebooks, and so you take that one that we like slap
It's funny you
together.
put it like that because it reminds me a lot of like around DJing is a similar thing where it's like you get for me it was learning all the like how to cue match and like fade things in and out to a point where I could get really fucked up and like really smacked and still do it well and then in the morning like have the recording of it. You know what I mean? But you just have to like get all the pieces in place so it's muscle like the important things are muscle memory. You know what I mean? And then you can just sort of give yourself up to the flow of it. So I think we're finding the parts that we need to like commit to muscle memory, which like in turn buys us freedom to then freestyle more, right? Because we know we have those structures of like, okay, if we're doing this, then we're on the right track, so we can do whatever we want otherwise, right?
Yeah, yeah, and then yeah, having them captured too, so that it's like, okay, here's now. Yeah, I like what Brian said about publishing data sets with like kind of like Kaggle kernels, which
Yes,
that's
exactly.
another good source of things to add to the wheel because we could make like we could take some out of there, right? They're probably good data viz sets and interesting things in those kernels. Yeah. All right. So that was our little data set penguin detour. That was
Yes,
cool.
that was cool.
I wanted to. Oh yeah, I just was opening the Sideways California because
Yeah, my favorite.
it's kind of intensive to like. It's rendering an SVG, so it. So okay, we already have this as a notebook. Noise. So racing against time.
That's when we made the timer.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can turn it back on while you go to the notebook. Let's see.
There's some random ass cell that you have to like.
Yeah, I don't know. It just has like a weird negative. It's weird. It
What
says
is this?
time left negative 65,000.
Yeah, I think
So
I need to run this. No, there was one that like maybe it doesn't use set deadline. Maybe it's this one because it's somewhere like random in the code, and then you
yeah,
like want
this
to
is what
change it.
you know when I asked for buttons, I think it's because of this time when you scarred me and you're like, hey, the way that this thing is gonna work, yeah, is that we just which one of these cells you rerun. You just got it, by the way. You just did it.
Yeah, but I want it to be like 20 minutes from now. something.
Yeah, exactly.
So there should be 20. Something like that.
There you go, 25. All right, we're counting down now.
Yeah, and we had these really interesting.
Oh, right, and then we got kind of smacked and we tried to reinvent timers, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, these were very abstract interpretations of time passing.
Uh-oh, the clock just broke.
Whoa.
What happened?
Um,
Did you break it by navigating away from the page? No, there we go. All right, we're back.
I don't know, I published or something, but that shouldn't have changed.
Oh, well, it is Firebase, so it could have been somebody clicked our link. Right? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway.
Hide it. I still ended up with more tabs open. Okay, so
the next one we did was how to finish and publish data visualizations, which I don't...
That was a good chat.
Totally remember.
Chat, but
that was more like topic based. I don't think we like... I'm turning the timer off. It keeps breaking, by the way.
That's fair. I mean, we don't need
a timer.
We're not on a clock tonight.
No.
we probably need to figure it out for next season, though.
Yeah, well, we should make a better and cooler time. Well, we don't... Yeah, I guess we should figure it out for next season, huh?
Yeah, we kind of had, like, let's make numbers show up. And
then we didn't really...
Then, like, go way the fuck out there.
Because, okay, just spitballing, what I really want is I would want, like, a progress bar at the top that's, like, really tall and thin and have the number at the end of the bar. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm a fan of, like, insetting our stream in some way.
Yeah, we're going to get a border or something going.
I've always dreamed of, like, a StarCraft style UI for data viz, doing a viz, where it's like you're trying to control a spaceship or some shit, right? Like,
okay,
I don't know what demands that kind of. I was hoping to do that at Cloud, actually. Never got the chance.
But not even one of the world's largest tech organizations, largest tech projects was enough data for you.
I mean,
is that what you're telling the people?
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen the icons, but they're basically like, not only can you can't use more colors, you can use less shapes now. Like,
right.
They were basically like, we're going to delete as many pixels as we can till you're not really looking at anything.
Yeah, that's rough.
And that will, it's a Sublime interface.
So now you have all the visualization ability and a lack of data is what I'm hearing.
Do I have a lack of data?
Do you have a lack of data?
No, I think it was more. There was no like the appetite for exploration from. That was like. Yeah, not always as ambitious as I would have been.
It's the same thing I ran into. People are just not ambitious.
Well, I think and to be fair, it's like doing it, like we've talked about this a number of times, doing anything at scale is just so much harder, right? Like you have to get so many more people to be on board with like...
Yeah, when you have 19 million viewers, they're like, oh, but there's going to be a million who don't understand this. And me personally, I'm like, fuck those million. I bet the other 18 would really enjoy it personally. But, there's some people who don't necessarily follow that scheme of thinking.
Exactly. Yeah. So here we are doing shit like...
So here we are to our, hey, what's up, all 7 of you? I bet you guys really like what we make, though, huh? That's why we're keeping you around.
Yeah. But like, this is the kind of stuff I want.
Yeah, right? This is what we got into the game for. At least for me.
Yeah, deconstructed emojis. This is our, like, what do they call it? Gastrointestinal, like, or something. The cooking where it's like the molecular...
Oh, molecular gastronomy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like deconstructed things.
Yeah. Oh, Brian says when our stream hits 19 million viewers, your fire colors are gonna have to be red and orange. Yeah, it's like can't have weird colors anymore because
Yeah, I think a lot of things are going to need to change.
I don't know. Joe Rogan does it, right?
That's true. Yeah, Joe Rogan paved the way. Thanks, Joe Rogan. Shout out to
Yeah.
Elon.
So this was a great stream. We like, well, I mean, and speaking of like not always having data, we were just like, well,
Oh
let's just
yeah.
like,
Yeah, this
what
is a
is it?
great example of no data.
Yeah,
It's like a
yeah,
poem. It's like an emoji poem.
yeah. We even like tried to use it. We found it. And actually, maybe this was a case we used a Kaggle data set,
I think that's correct.
but then we ended up just abandoning the data part because it was just, I mean, the color itself became the data, right?
Yep.
Um, this one was really fun. This was like.
Yeah, we really jammed
It was
out.
like so much fun to do this. I remember, I think we went like 4 hours. Like we kept going.
I think yeah, that was. This is definitely. We should like eventually record if we do overtime. By the way, overtime's over. No more overtime. That's not a thing that's allowed anymore. But yeah, we definitely did go over that episode.
Yeah, I mean we're professionals now, so. But man, we like visualized the hell out of some emojis. Figured out dominant color. Yeah, we like pulled in this algorithm to pull the dominant colors
Yeah, we
out
did a
from
lot
Southern
of
Book.
shit, dude. That was a good session. I can't believe there's a bar chart for it too. Like not a stone unturned.
Yeah, there's a tree map, bar chart, and we knew we wanted to make the tree map. Oh, I already just pasted that. Sorry. Um, over here. Show your finger is happy. One work. Oh, okay, cool. Someone play with it. I wonder if they changed something.
Didn't no Brett like fix the spacing so when you rolled over they didn't push each other. I think right.
Oh, that's sick. Okay, that's cool. Thank you, Brett. I kind of do this. Ah, that was a good one. That was a really good one.
Good episode. And then we did election data, and then it became fucking election time. Then it was October.
And we had to get to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Brian. That was a fun one. You know, what the goal is, we do more. We hit that.
Yeah, we want to do
6
more like that.
We
We're
kind of
trying to
know
hit
how.
those again.
Yeah,
But I think
and I
that
think
came from the wheel. Like it came from picking a data set that we hadn't been thinking about before, that we like just got right before the episode, that made us go in a new direction. I want to try and like recapture that.
yeah, it was definitely a case of like seeing other people visualize emojis in different contexts, I think too, and wanting to do that. Yeah. So, and then yeah, if we had a wheel, that would be on there. So the Meson Plus one, that's interesting because that I don't know which notebooks correspond with that. Oh no, the data set was definitely there.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, because I totally forgot we made that
ACS.
Heroku instance that we like used for a little bit, right? I guess it's
Yeah,
still running. I'm paying that bill on it. So
yeah. I mean, Shirley was using it at some point. I don't know if she like cached it, but regardless, that was that was a good one. So you said, yeah, data set's a way to like spin up a little server for like querying, making URL queries to a
exactly.
spatial data set, right? Or a
Yeah, so
data
we,
set.
we we just took our CSV. Yeah, it makes it easy for me to turn CSVs into SQLite like APIs, and then you can also like do cool queries, and then that to me is like a back end. We haven't used this pattern a lot, but I'm convinced that like the pattern of data set as back end and observable as front end is like super reusable for exploring big data sets or like answering questions or things like that. Where sometimes observable doesn't want to like it chokes on really big data sets that you wouldn't, sometimes do in the command line or in R or whatever. So trying to bridge that gap of like, okay, so if you summarize and do some of the problem on the back end and then serve the summary data to observable and visualize it that way, I think that's like a pattern that I will continue to use for a lot of things.
Yeah, absolutely. I really wanted, yeah, at some point we should get the BigQuery observable hookup like down because that would open up, a lot of big data sets, and including the ones that we had actually put together that one stream. Right?
Yep. Yeah, we should have like a coding with fire data set server, right?
Yeah, yeah, that would be cool.
Put the penguins on there.
Election data viz and COVID. That wasn't like a serious stream at all, was it? Oh, okay, this is where we continued working on. Oh, this must have been the one where we made the date.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we were just like, let's work on whatever. Yeah, make the calendar and make some election stuff.
What was? Oh, we made the hairy United States that time. That's funny. Ooh, and textures. Was this the texture one? Yeah. Man, okay, so there's like 5 notebooks for this one, so I'm gonna add all those in the spreadsheet. Okay, so we did this like bubble core pet. I think this is the dark mode calendar. We did this, and we did this, and we did this. I think we did that one at a different time.
We just basically just did a whole bunch of election stuff for the month of October. Like, I don't know if we necessarily need to dive into each one individually, but we like kept building more and more momentum towards like going in different directions of things we would want to visualize on election night, right?
Yeah, this list goes down, and then there is also a separate playlist or playlist collection of 16 notebooks we made that were all election related. This one I do want to show just because it was like a really fun, like a fake 3D map.
Oh yeah, the like isometric style one. Yeah,
Yeah,
I love this one.
I'm gonna I'm gonna retroactively play this 30-day map challenge. I think like we've made enough maps that I can fill out. Yeah, we talked about one.
Yeah, we don't need any more election discussion.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, but to sort of the interesting thing about maybe we can just skip ahead to the final, the finale of the election season. The thing, that our experience of streaming that day was that we got to focus on building something, right? And like
Totally.
the technique and the, keeping our hands occupied basically. And, we knew we couldn't avoid thinking about it either. So at least
And
we
I think
were
it
like,
was cool to see the viewers who joined in who are like, all right, finally like a data stream with you know what I mean, no drama. You know what I mean? I think somebody said in the chat like that was a really cool way to like, all right, we're just taking the data in, we're not, making projections or, saying it's the end of the world or whatever. Like we're just like looking at live data and oh, it'd be cool to look at this way. You know what I mean, which I think is a cool way to take in. At least for me, like as a like, it was an interesting way to take in really intense thing happening, right?
yeah, and it's like, it's how we wanted to do it, to process it, right?
Yep.
And so we got to, I also think that this one looks really visually interesting and was really interesting to watch as things unfolded. So
Yeah, the tree map came out really cool, and that was Bloomberg wrote this visualization up.
yeah, or it was actually, and what's interesting about it, is what they wrote up though was the prototype, the simulation one that we did on a previous stream.
Yep.
So we were actually ready for the live results.
Yeah, it was surprisingly like it took like 20 or 30 minutes to actually plug in the live data because we had already made this version with like faked simulation data that we just had wrote. Like I think it was chance, right? Like we like made random numbers.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So that's pretty interesting. But yeah, we don't have to replay like the election season.
You guys know how elections went,
Did
right?
some 3D stuff though. Maybe we should try to find anything fun we did also in those.
Well, the electoral college unit charts rearranging, that was a hit, and B, one of my favorite things that we did.
Okay, let me close some of these.
Oh, you got two. Oh, somebody's got too many tabs open.
Yeah. Oh, okay. iTabs.
See if I can find it.
This one was. I love parallel coordinates.
This one.
I want to use it more.
I got it on my screen.
Okay.
So basically, we took every state, split it into the number of electoral college votes it has, and then made each little electoral college vote be the abbreviation of the state, and then you can sort of watch them move around to different positions, which I thought was really cool. There's a cartogram view. There's like a more projected Albers view. Split them up by the 2016 results. Back to the cartogram. Back to 2016 results. It's pretty sick. Make it a grid. That's one of my favorites. My personal favorites. How about you?
Nice. Yeah, I love the dancing. What is going on here?
Oh yeah, this was cool.
I feel like we missed this somewhere in the list, and that Colin came on and like helped
That's
us with this
right.
one correctly.
Yeah, I forget which episode this was.
But we had tried to create the effect in that YouTube video, which is like a trip. I think it said it was published August 24th.
That's analyzing and
no,
visualizing USPS and voter data.
Yeah, but I guess we did two things that day. Or I don't know, I still had the Where Votes at Risk. No, maybe that's the wrong title. Maybe that should just be the Freaky Dot Patterns.
Whatever. Go back to the thing that looked cool.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sort of looks like when you lay on your back and watch the stars.
Nice. Brian's a fan. Yeah, I think, Brian, you're going to like our generative art segment in next season.
Yeah, definitely more of this coming.
More of this, yeah, flavor. I'm glad that we decided that that's going to be like a regular thing that we do, because it's like such a good reset and fun way to stretch our creativity.
Well, for me, it's still visualizing data. It's like tuning into like the randomness of the universe, right? It's like the snow crash of a TV when it's not tuned, and we're like, all right, that's our data now. Like something about that's appealing to me.
I like that. And there's so many interesting patterns out there, right? Like that mathematicians, that's where this guy, right? Like in the YouTube video, he's like explaining some phenomenon, and like we can actually code that up, right? And like that's what's fun.
What a great segue in, because what I was going to say is that we're reaching the end of our time. I think we should do a quick another 10-minute break, and when we come back, let's try and finish up our wheel. Maybe I'll do a little Illustrator. Maybe.
Are you sure?
Am I sure?
Are you sure?
What's the other option?
I wanted to make circle map density dots.
Bruh.
I don't know.
I don't know if I'm sure. You know what? I wish I had a fucking wheel to decide for me.
Yeah, that's like, oh, we got to do that work, and then it'll pay off.
Yeah, man.
But if Illustrator is still gonna rotate it, okay.
So, before we go on our break, I'll make a quick list. I'll use text edit, which I haven't done in many episodes, but it was the thing I used to do all the time. I'll make a little list of what we're going to need to do. So we're gonna need a little, like, what do you call this thing? A little arrow. Selection arrow. We're gonna need a button. What else? That's kind of it. Oh, labels. I think that's it, buddy. I think it'll be functional at that point. We can make it look pretty and do all sorts of fun design later. But once it has an arrow, a button that makes it spin, and some labels, we're coating with fire.
I like it. I like it.
All right.
All right. I think we can accomplish that.
In our last 40 minutes or so, take a quick 10-minute break. We'll be back at 11:20 Eastern. What is that? 8:20 Pacific. Is that how math works? Is that cool?
That's how it works.
You want to do a 5-minute break?
I'm
We'll
down.
do a 10-minute break. It'll be good. Get a drink. Be normal people. I'm gonna go outside for a second.
Yeah. See you soon.
Be back in a sec. We're back. We're live. It's the last segment of Coding Fire. I'm EJ. That's Ian. We're doing. Tonight. We're making a little spinning wheel. We did a real cool review of like the 29 plus episodes that we've done, and we're preparing for our new season. And I think what is going to be a really important part of our new season is this idea of like having a segment where we have a bunch of data sets that we haven't really worked with before and adding them to this wheel and spinning it and sort of seeing which one it lands on and then working on that one for an hour. And so, excuse me, I'm hoping for the next 40 minutes we can sort of try and get this in a place where maybe we can use it when we start our new season up on November 15th.
Nice. Let's do it. So you had made, right before we took our little break, you had made a list.
Yes. So our list has three important things that I believe make an MVP of our spinning wheel. Number 1 is a selection arrow. Number 2 is a button to make it spin. And thirdly is labels for all the different data sets. So I guess one thing I could do just to get started, we have option 1, we have these sort of basic names in Observable already, right? Of like what each thing might be. We could sort of set a reasonable limit on that and hope that like they're the same size as option 1. But how does one label a pie chart? Is my question.
Yeah. Well, first, do you mind if we move these options to the top of the notebook?
Yeah, go for it.
It's something that we'll be playing with a lot. Whereas, yeah. Once we figure out, I can clean it up later, but yes. So labeling, showing text. Well, actually, right when we made this, I copy pasted from the D3 example, which I should have referenced in here, and I will do that. But let me pull it up real quick because it will show us how it's labeled, and we can continue to use that. So Mike's donut chart. So this is like pretty straightforward. It's just putting the text.
That's pretty cool.
Of the thing, and that,
I respect that.
I think we can start there, right? So since I copy pasted the rendering code for that.
You want to just uncomment it and hope for the best?
Yeah, we can uncomment the text and see what happens. I think we want it to, it's not data.value, this and that is data. Actually, do you remember what you called it? Data.option? Or
let me look. It's data.name.
Okay. Oh, maybe it's data.name. Oh, I see. I think this is like for a number. We don't really care about.
Oh, I see there are definitely words showing up. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, it should be this though. It should be. And there should be text dot label.
Mm, I love
It's
it.
busy though.
I love it.
That's pretty cool. So we really just need to have them be rotated out so that they're like kind of out from the center, right? So they should
What?
be aligned with their um, the center of their
I
arc.
was thinking that they should maybe like imagine they were on a pin, so each label swiveled, right? So it was always facing up as it spun. Does that make sense?
Oh, crazy.
But its
Yeah,
centroid is right.
it does make sense. I like it a lot. So it's sort of like they're balanced.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, let's get that going. And also share the link in the chat for anyone who wants to follow along.
Yay.
All right. So yeah, we're starting with, existing code. So what's it doing? It's for all the arcs. It's text anchor middle. Okay, it's fine. And it's translating it to the centroid. So what we want is
We want to add a rotate equivalent to the global rotate.
yes. And so what we're gonna do is say that labels equal that. I don't know where I set all this stuff.
Why'd you write labels like that?
Oh, because I can't spell anymore.
Okay.
So now that we have labels,
I was like, Ian, I've known you for a long time, and I feel like I've seen you write the word labels before. Like, do you not know how the word labels is spelled?
it happens to me quite often, actually, that I misspell something like labels, which you end up writing many, many times. And if you think about it, the more you write it, the more chances you have to mess
That's
it up,
right. I agree with that. Yeah, you just
But you should also get better at writing it. But it's almost like I practiced mistyping it, and so like my fingers didn't even notice.
It's just funny because you're writing code, so like everything is so important. You know what I mean? And you got everything else perfect. So it makes you think that like it was really on purpose, you know? Anyway, I got distracted.
You're gonna feed conspiracy theories, I think, if you go down this road.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. So you're basically making it so that after we make our labels and put them in the right place, you can address them later with the rotate?
Well, we just want to like rotate them. Oh yeah, I just want to translate.
Arc decentroid.
Yeah, so we're just gonna do the same math where it's like, well, it's probably supposed to be opposite somehow. Like we'll have to figure that out. But I think we can get it to like match the rotation of D is not defined.
What are you talking about? No, that makes sense actually. Hey, it's working great. I love it so much.
Oh, it's making me dizzy, man. It's funny.
It's because you made the spin duration so short, you insane person.
It may take a long time. All right, do it. So, but also, I think that this should be.
So good.
There we go. Kind of.
Kind of. No, I feel like you took it away.
It needs to be like mod 360, I think, somehow.
You think a modulo is really going to help us in this situation?
No, do the same thing because that would just get rid of the rotations times 360. But I want it to be this. It's like 360 minus this or something.
So Ian, I just want to throw something out there. Oh, you got it.
Did I get it?
If I hit degrees and run it over and over again, it makes things really weird.
Whoa.
I think it's adding many labels.
Option 3. That's a lot of options.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so I'm not sure I quite got what we're doing. I'll fix the options and that.
What do you...
Oh, it's appending them here. I don't know why it's doing that. I just want it to be this. I'm not gonna end some extra shit. What do you... Okay, if I wanted to do it in that style where you could add multiple pieces of text, I would have had to address the update pattern. But
I don't want that. This is a terrible accident.
Neither do I, man. So we don't have to. So yeah, that seems... It doesn't...
Does it telegraph where it's going to land? Because the text is already pre-aligned to where the end state is, basically? Am I interpreting that right?
I can't tell if the text is moving relative to...
It seems like the text snaps to where it's going to end. So it faces upright where it's going to end, and then it spins to that.
Yeah, if we change the ease to like let me change it to a linear real quick.
You know what else we could use is we should shuffle our options on every spin also.
Oh, interesting.
I think.
And interesting, why does this not work? Please. Cubic? Oh. Oh, I think I just had a knot. No, it does a backflip at some point.
Okay.
Like if you look at how it starts, it's facing... Oh, it's not matching the rotations, I guess.
Yeah, something about it is strange.
But it is not... Like, I think it's good enough to move on to the next step.
You know what? You are not wrong about that at all, are you? Do you know what the next step is? It's a fucking button.
A button.
Yep, it's a button. I still want that button. It can just be a click. You can just do it on SVG on mouse click. I will forgive that.
And now I'll just search for a button real quick. Wait until button. I might want that. What is that? That's a cool picture. Button proposal, pattern for toggle button. Man, people are into buttons on here. Button
I'm telling you,
text.
dude, people love buttons, me included. I'm pro button.
Yeah, it's a thing. All right, so wait for the start button to be clicked. But you don't quite... Oh, I guess that would work. So I'll just copy paste this button. And since you like buttons so much, we're just gonna call it button.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the good stuff.
What I think we want to do is depend on button so that you click on it. Yeah. Spin the wheel. Get rid of all that code. All right, so it shouldn't be linear either. We should bring back the... Wait, I think this is gonna make me extra dizzy with the text now. I'm gonna try the.
Oh boy.
Whoa.
Oh my god. That's fun though. I love it. I love it. I like that a lot. Just make the speed a lot longer. Make it like twice as. Can we? Yeah, make it like.
No, I just changed it back to the wheel. I want the wheel.
All right.
You can make the speed longer. Oh yeah, I did. You had it at 10,000 one time, and I changed it down.
So and then I changed it back up.
Quicker. Nice, you bumped it back up, but you didn't bump it all the way back up.
No, I bumped it up to 7,500 because I'm a good friend who believes in compromise.
And degrees down. Yeah, so
you've completed your portion. Now it's time for me to pitch in. I need to build us an arrow. I'm going to do it in Illustrator, and then I'm going to send you a path. So in Illustrator, the way you make an arrow, because there's no fucking arrow tool yet in 2020, is you make a star with 3 points.
Okay.
I'm not kidding. I'm doing this on the stream because it took me, like, this is like some secret shit. You make a star with 3 points, okay, kids? And that's how you get yourself a triangle in Illustrator. I bet you were wondering how you got a triangle, and that's how. So I'm going to make a triangle. I want to make it like a little, like, weird, though. You know what I mean? Like, I want the end of it to come out a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, you know how they're not, like, perfect triangles. They're, like, a little funky. So I'm going to add some things at the top. And then I can stretch out the top a little bit more. And it can be fun. Yeah. Something like that. No, too much. Too much. It's ugly. It's ugly. Something like that. I wish it was a little thinner. Come in. Oh, God. No, this is awful. I don't know why I've done this. I think I put these things up a little too far. I'm going to try one more attempt at trying to do what I was trying to do, and we'll see. I think I'm going to bring... Oh, I already have them. All right, I'm going to bring these little side guys in, and we'll see if we like that. 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm into it. I'm pro this. I think I can just copy the SVG code. Or I'll save it as an SVG, and then I'll put it in a cell or something. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I'll call it arrow. Doesn't really matter. Arrow.svg. Okay. Arrow.svg. All right, let's open it with VS Code. Great. It's a little polygon. Is that okay? Is that allowed?
Yeah, that's allowed.
All right. So should I make it like an HTML thing?
I think if you put it inside an SVG, that's okay.
So like SVG backtick.
Yes.
And then like that, maybe?
Yes. I think we should... I think you can wrap it with an SVG tag.
Oh, good call. Yay!
Yeah, and then I think if you say arrow equals that.
Am I well? Did I put it in the wrong direction? It should kind of be bigger and like. Should I have made it at the size we want to use it? You know what I mean?
Oh, we could scale it, but
yeah, we need to scale and rotate it.
Well, what you should probably do is download the SVG of the chart.
Oh, right? Yeah, you're so smart.
That same size.
You're so smart. You're so smart. All right, so I'm downloading the SVG, or I was trying to. I'm attempting to. It's not really working great. I'm gonna be honest. I guess I'll open it in Brave and see if that works better. Do 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 do. Give me my pie chart. It doesn't even work at all in Brave.
What wasn't work? You weren't getting it to render in your.
It doesn't.
Chrome?
It won't download an SVG for me, and it won't render in Brave at all, which is weird.
Let me see if I can download it. All right, I'll send it to you.
But yeah, if I get it in the right position and stuff, awesome. So let's see. Show in Finder. Yay. And let's open that in Illustrator now. Yay, sick. Cool. So let me grab it. And what we really want is to have it big and like at the top. Kind of like this. I'm gonna pretend that you made this go down a little.
Okay.
And then we'll do something like this maybe, and I'll say tonight's data set. And I want it in Helvetica. Something like that. Oops. Maybe make it a little bit smaller. Something like that, I think. So I can group this. Oops. Oops, Jesus. Group this, and actually I'll make it a new layer, and then when I save the SVG we can just copy this layer out. So I'll save as, whoops, it did not put it where I wanted it though. There we go. Now we can save as SVG, and then I'll copy the code out and send it to you, and we call it desktop, we'll call it arrow in chart.svg. There we go, open it in VS Code. All right, what are we looking here? All right, great. The transform is in a matrix though. It's kind of annoying.
Copy the whole thing.
Yeah, I'll just copy it in. See what you want to do with it. So I'm going to replace my polygon, and I have to give the polygon a fill of black. There you go. Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what's going on there. I guess if you just put it in your SVG, then...
There you go.
You did it!
I think we could... Yeah, these two things... Well, one way would be to, yeah, like pull out the points part and just like create this in... like right here, you could say,
put your screen up. So you're just gonna like append the arrow onto it?
Yeah. This feels like actually the quickest way to do this.
What's my cat saying hello? Oh, that looks very close.
Right? I can just
You just have to push the arrow down a little bit. Or make the radius a little smaller, the outer radius.
Yeah, we can mess with that too. But I think if we, yeah, if we just like, something like that,
Ooh, yeah.
we can still make the outer radius just a little bit. Um, where's radius at? It's the min between the width and the height. We could do like height minus 50.
Yeah, that's a little. Yeah, 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 exactly.
Is that like too small?
No, that's perfect, I think.
And do you want it, is it touching enough?
I want it to overlap a little bit more, I think.
I could have it be minus like 10 instead of minus 20. Like that. And you're gonna make that little arrowhead. We can make it move.
Yeah, we can give it
Actually,
some things.
isn't it like, are these points here? So
Yeah, yeah, you could definitely do. Yeah,
I
but
could just like mess with one of these points, right?
you have
Like
to
if
figure
I
out
say,
which one is the tip. Yeah.
yeah, I
Yep.
think it's that one.
Yep. Yeah. So if you just wiggle that number.
Wiggle that number with the wheel.
Yeah, bro.
Oh man, that's funny.
We have 15 minutes left. I think that's totally a great, beautiful, worthwhile use of time.
All right. And I mean, with your list, have we done everything on the list?
Oh yeah, it only had three things. Yeah, it said button, labels, and arrow, and boy did we have all those.
Oh, can I add like building footprints? I mean, I know we've played a little bit with them before, but like,
Done. Building footprints.
I mean, I think of a data set, I should put it in there.
Yeah. What else?
Um, what else have we been looking at?
I'm gonna put in motorcycle routes.
I mean, visualizing that internet access data, I think would be
Internet speed or access?
internet speed. Internet speed. I mean, it's kind of related to access. But
Internet speed.
is there something like emoji that's just like straight fun?
Yeah, what's like good color? Like, yeah, like a yeah, good fun data set would be nice. Like something about cats or like happiness, joy quantified would be great.
Yeah.
Who quantifies joy? Who's counting joy?
Oh, you know what? Naughty did that one where it's like dogs and cats and like Google searches. So
Mm.
I think it's like what people like the questions like, why is my dog barking? Why is my dog this? Why is my dog that? Right? Like, so that she ended up with a database, like a data set of kind of what common questions are and like relatively how common they are.
I bet you could get like dog and I wonder if like cat breed data or like cat species data. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, like I've seen people do tree of life kind of things. I wonder if you could do that with like cats though. So many.
So I'm gonna say like cat species data.
I feel like cat species, yeah, you're onto something. The
Is that
internet loves
allowed?
cats. The internet loves cats. Pictures of cats. So there's so many pictures of cats out there. So like there's gotta be a way to get this data.
All right. This is a fun and eclectic wheel that we have, and it shows motorcycle routes.
didn't include your tonight's dataset thing, but
I think it's better without it, honestly.
the other thing we could do is have like a tonight's datasets. Let me get rid of that like debug text. This feed.
Shop says that they think it should automatically import the data set that it lands on, and that's a dope idea. Like it just like spins up the notebook for you.
Oh shit. Oh man. So that reminds me, teaching data sets. So Mike Freeman has this notebook, and this is actually another one, a good one maybe for people to look at in terms of, oh, you know what we should do? We should just make a wheel for this. God damn. Okay. Like we should make him a wheel. So this is basically a list of data sets that are good for teaching and that he uses in his courses.
Oh, great. Yeah, so let's fork this and put this list into the wheel.
And the reason I thought about it is that it does import an example. So let's say, I don't know, Kickstarter data? I don't know. Oh, wait, it clicked on something. I thought there was... Choose a data set to preview. There's what I'm looking for. Uh-oh. Can I not preview? Okay. So it doesn't have every single one in this list to preview, but like, this is the list that we should make a wheel for.
That's sick. Right. Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of these are quite intense.
So where does that drop down get its list from? Let's just steal it.
Preview options. Great. So even called options.
So just import preview options from blah blah blah.
I think so.
So I'm gonna fork this, or actually, do you want to fork this and pull that in? Because then you just make that options essentially.
Yeah. Let's see. I want to fork. Damn, there's so many of these things. Okay, coding with fire. All right, so we're gonna switch the colors. We'll get to that. Why is this not? All right. Oh, you have to click it once.
Yeah. I was gonna mention that before it shows up at all.
Yeah.
Because it needs degrees, I guess.
Input. I guess it doesn't have a value when it gets created. I don't know. This button that I used.
I'm not upset about it. Don't worry about it. I think it's fine.
Refresh it. Yeah, okay. I don't know the answer, so we're just gonna have to live with it for now. I mean, it says in all caps, spin the wheel.
So it sure does. And it's for us also.
It's for us, yeah. And for everyone, but for us. All right, so I want to import the data sets that we just saw. Preview options from... Oh, it's not the whole link. It's just the at.
Nice.
At mention. And let's look at preview options. Oh, what the?
Yeah, what?
So what is preview options based on? Filtered data.
Based on data sets, which is at the bottom. before the imports. Oh.
But
Can't you
I
just download that
wonder.
as CSV or whatever and add it to
Yeah,
ours?
I'm thinking that same thing. But then preview options, I need to like pull this code, right?
Ugh.
And I don't
What
want
if you
to search.
don't? What if you don't do that?
Oh, but we do need. No, I can just copy this because it's the filter data. No, that's still 39 things. Why is this? Oh, it filters if it doesn't have a URL. So we don't need to copy that stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
It's sorting and it's filtering.
We don't care about any of that garbage. Pull in the data sets.
All right. And this will be wheel of teaching data.
Yeah. Perfect.
So this will be teaching sets. And I'm going to say teaching sets equals, no, is it file attachment? Can't remember. I think it's a wait. I always get confused by this stuff. I need to open my file attachments.
I like it when the wheel spins in the background, like when you're doing other stuff.
.csv site.
Bischoff says if you don't add a Wheel of Fortune data set to this for the meta, they're going to be disappointed.
That's
pretty fair. Let me see if I have a cat in my lap, so it's hard to focus on anything, but I'll definitely find a Wheel of Fortune data set before next episode.
Okay. So it's still 30. Why didn't it filter it down? Data. No, I'm going to say it exists at all. All right. So now these are the 21 options that have URLs. So we want to be able to import those, I guess.
And do they all actually, you want to see if they have labels. We don't actually care about URLs. We want them to have labels.
Value and label. Okay. Well, I do want them to have URL.
Okay.
Oh.
Great.
Wait, did these not have a label?
Yeah, there's definitely ones with values and labels. So.
No, almost all of them do. So what was wrong with my logic?
Yeah.
I just want that. Is that not how you do in?
Yes, isn't that how filters work? I like how Observable rebelled against your attempt. It was like, no, you don't need that at all.
Oh, wait, no. Wait, these title data URL.
Oh.
It's not name, it's not label,
It's
it's title.
But it comes out as label.
It changes it there.
Oh boy.
Alrighty. So we got labels. They all got labels, that's good. So what we want to do is pass this into here instead of our, oh wait, no, our arcs. What are options? Oh, okay. Yeah, so options should be preview options.
Yeah, now we're talking.
And, oh, it had him as name, not label. So we should change it to name instead of label.
Yay.
I still feel like their angle should be.
Can you give it D3 scale chromatic turbo?
Yeah. Yeah, we can figure that out.
Actually, can I just give you a new colors that's local, basically?
Yeah.
I was gonna. All right, great. All right, you have a new colors that's local. That's way better.
Wait, what do you mean that's local?
It's just called colors. It's an array of colors.
It's not on mine. Are you editing the fork? No, I need
Oh
to share
no,
it.
I'm editing. I'm sorry. No, I'm editing the
No, I
original
mean,
one.
it's my bad. Well, I want to publish this. Wheel of teaching data. Publish. And I want to share it with you as well.
Yay!
Then I'll share it with everybody.
Yay!
Wheel. Whoa. So you added colors.
Alright. There's some colors for you, buddy.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Or you could use D3 scale chromatic and pass the thing, but I thought this one might be easier.
Yeah, I can work with that. I want it to be modulo.
You and the modulos.
And my best friend. Woo-hoo. I really want them to be lined up though with the wheel, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's midnight. We've had a great show. Do you want to do a little wheel wrap up and we can say goodnight to all the kind people?
Yeah, we can do a little wrap up. Let's see where we at. Yeah, I got a lot of good tabs open. Where's the thing that we forked it? Wait till that. All right, so we're gonna go over. I guess we didn't make our dots. Sure, you don't want it. Okay, I guess I can do it.
I think you got this one, bro.
All right, we're gonna start here with a
No, I don't think we have to
spreadsheet.
talk about the
Super
spreadsheet.
exciting.
We don't have to really recap our recap. I think there's enough recaps. I think we just talk about
Recap. I mean, then if we had the recap of the recap, we could
I don't
recap
think it's
that.
necessary to do that.
I
I
want to
think
get
we
it down
could.
to like 15 seconds of like,
You can mention the fact a recap happened. I think.
yeah, yeah. I guess it's the motivation here. All right, so it's been a fun night tonight. We talked about a lot of stuff that we did on the previous streams and
Yeah.
looked
Thanks to
through
everybody for hanging out.
a lot of cool notebooks, and we decided to build something we wanted to make for next season of Coding with Fire. We want to have a segment every time we stream where we like randomly choose a data set to riff on, right? Like, and we have a bunch of ideas, and then we're asking people for ideas, and so we put them in a little list. And what we really wanted to sort of Wheel of Fortune style animate that.
Yeah. Oh, what happened? I think I lost Ian. Hold on. We're getting him back. It says there's a poor network connection. That's so funny. I think it was fate telling me that I should have done the wrap up if Ian comes back. So what Ian was trying to say? Oh God. Oh boy. Oh jeez. Let me get back to my wheel of data. Let me do my impression. Hold while Ian works his internet out. So, he made the wheel spin. We have all these different options, and now we can, before an episode, go in and fill these out with data sets that we might want to look at, and then go in and spin the wheel and say, okay, tonight we have these 5 data sets we're thinking about. Let's spin it, see where it ends up, and it landed on motorcycle routes. So we would do the motorcycle routes data set, which I think would be a pretty cool approach to things. And then Ian decided to take it one step even further, and he has, I guess, I wish I could find the original place where he pulled this teaching data set from. I'm sure we'll put the link to it afterwards, but this is a whole bunch of other data sets that you can spin and end up on ones, and this one ended up on, I can't read what that says. Distance to abortion clinic, or what's this one next to it? Yeah, Bechdel test date. So that's been pretty cool. It's been a fun, well, it's weird to wrap up without Ian. I hope that he gets his internet fixed. But thank you to everybody for hanging out with us tonight. Really appreciate you guys, Blue Radon, Bischoff, everybody that forks the notebooks and responds on Twitter. We really appreciate you. And we're excited for a new season. Coming up, first episode is on November 15th. Hopefully we're going to get some new graphics, some new guests, new approaches to things. So thank you to everybody who's like joined and made things happen and sort of encouraged us along the way. We really appreciate you. So I hope you guys all have a great night. Good night.